Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Julie. If you are a continued supporter, thank you very much. If you're new here, welcome. I will be planning an adventure for you today. You will have to stay tuned to see what it is. So hi everyone. Today's adventure, I'm going to be doing a little bit something different. I'm going to be canning beef. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk over to the freezer and I'm going to see what kind of meat that we have, what kind of cuts, I guess, of the beef that we have in the freezer that I can put in the fridge to thaw out a little bit. And then I'm going to can it. So I'll take you over to the freezer and I'll see what I can find. So I'm doing a voiceover for this segment because my mic went dead at that time and I didn't realize it until I was reviewing the footage. So I'm going to be talking over what I was explaining in that video. This is too large of a cut of meat for Dan and I to use for one dinner, and we'd probably have leftovers for like a week or so, and that's just not doable for us. So I'm going to be canning it probably in quart-sized jars. So I'm hoping to get 5 or 6 jars because it is a 12-pound piece of meat. And I'm going to be making like skillet dinners, maybe putting it in soups or adding it to stir fries. I can also shred it and make like a barbecued beef sandwich. So that's what I'm going to be doing with these cans that I'm going to put on the pantry shelf. Okay, everybody, I have been working on the meat for about an hour and a half, and this is the bowl that I have come up with. There's still quite a bit of marbling in it, but I took the big, huge, heavy chunks of fat out. So I guess this is like in comparison to my coffee pot here. You can tell how big it is. But I probably have a pile of fat that is like 2/5 the size of this. So probably 2 portions are fat and 3 portions are meat. So I guess I will have to see how many jars. I did wash 7 of them, but I'm going to have to fill them tomorrow because part of this meat was still frozen. And I know that you cannot pressure can meat while it is frozen. So I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and let it sit overnight and work on it tomorrow morning. And that'll give me a little bit of chance to figure out what kind of spices that I want to add to the jar. I know I want to add a couple things, but I don't want to add a bunch because, you know, the plans that I have for the meat afterwards are going to be so varied that I don't want to put like Mexican type spices in it for soups, just say, for that. So I guess I'll see what I'll come up with. Probably just the basics like salt, garlic, and onions. So we'll see. So it is the next day. I have my canner out with my required amount of water. I did put a little bit of like a glug of vinegar in there just so that in case there is any siphoning out of the jars with the fats, it won't stick to the jars. So hopefully the vinegar will take care of that. So I'm on the other side of my kitchen. I have all the things that I'm going to need. And if you need a more precise video on canning, you'll probably have to watch someone else because I'm just in kind of a hurry today. My husband's out of the house and I'm worried my grandchildren are going to show up, so I won't have any help to keep them occupied. But anyway, I have gotten the meat pieces out. They sat in the refrigerator for another 24 hours. I stirred them a little bit. I don't believe any of them are still frozen, so that's a good thing. And I went through my recipes, which is something you should do when you're canning. Figure out what the end products are going to be used for. Like me with this beef, I'm going to be using them in stir fries, soups, casseroles, things like that. So what I'm going to do, I mentioned in the other segment that I was going to put garlic, but some of the recipes don't call for garlic. So I'm just going to put the canning salt and then the onions. I have minced onion and onion powder. So as you can see, I don't have much left of the onion powder, and I don't have another jar on my in my cabinet in my stash there. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to be using only a half a teaspoon of the onion powder, half a teaspoon of the salt, even though it is a quart jar, and then I'm going to put a whole teaspoon of the minced onion. I think that'll give it a nice round flavor. And you don't have to put any broth or any water or anything in these jars, because when you pack and can the cold meat, well, room temperature, cold, whatever it is, just not frozen, it'll create its own juices. So hopefully it'll give me close to the top, so not many of the pieces will be out of juices. But that's my main goal there, is to get those packed in the jars here in the next few minutes. And I'll show you how many I get. I cleaned 7 jars, but like I said, I'm only expecting maybe 4 or 5. If I'm lucky, 5. Hopefully I get 4. So I'll get working on that next. All right, I have all the jars packed, and I ended up with 5 quarts, so I got lucky. I didn't put them all the way to the very top because I believe you're supposed to leave one normal 1-inch headspace, and I have a little bit more than that because if there are juices in there, I don't want them siphoning out. So this is what I have, and I'll get them loaded in my canner, run them through the cycle, and I'll show you what they look like when I'm all done with them, when they're cooling off. Okay, I just took the jars out of the canner, and as you can see, they're still bubbling away. And they decreased a little bit, but they made an awful lot of juices, so I'm really happy. So there's not a whole lot of them that are sticking out. Maybe a little more in this jar. But anyway, now I just have to wait for the seals, the little buttons to go down. Hopefully they will. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching the video. If you liked what you saw, would you please hit the thumbs up, give me a like, and if you have any comments or questions, please put them in that area below. And if you'd like to, please subscribe. I know I'm not a very large channel yet, but I do plan on putting out a video every week or every other week. So thank you for your continued support. Hope everyone has a great day. Bye.